Beautiful. This is my story. This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. That's the lyrics to the instrumental music you just heard, Blessed Assurance, Jesus is Mine. And I just want to say good evening, everyone. And I want to thank you all for joining in on this conversation with a woman who I have greatly admired over the years. I've known her for well, I can't even say. It's so hard to even go back. I think it was right after I had my son. And he was very young, and he's 35 now, so it's close to 40 years, let's just say. And I'm just really honored to have her on tonight on my platform. I'm so grateful that she said yes, and I invited her to have this conversation with me this evening because I believe that she has some important and things to share with us about her life and some important things to impart into our lives. Likewise, I want to just thank you all for joining in on this platform, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed because I know that Minister Pamela Fontes Ross has a gift for reaching diverse people in diverse situations. So before we get started, I just want to ask you to like and share this video and also subscribe to this channel for upcoming conversations. We're all ordinary people who are doing extraordinary works every day in our lives, and that means no one can do you, and that means you who are watching me and Minister Ross tonight. No one can be us because we're unique in ourselves. You have a unique purpose, and God has you in mind. So you're not here just by mere coincidence. There is something that God wants to impart into your heart tonight. So I want this platform to highlight stories like Minister Pam's, as well as others that will help someone along the way. I want to say that please feel free to put any questions because we're going to try to leave room at the end of the conversation for you to be able to ask questions and just give some, if you'd like to say something, please feel free to do that as well. We encourage that, not just anything, but things that are decent, lovely, kind, and of good report, as they say. So without further ado, I just want to introduce Minister Pam to you. Minister Pamela Fontes Ross is the wife of husband Victor, to whom she's been married for 48 years. She's the mother of 3 adult children and the nana of 3 grandchildren. Wow. Minister Ross is retired from the Providence Public School Department, where she worked for many years. She is a published poet, and you'll get to hear some of her poems this evening, and has been involved in all types of volunteer work in her community over the years. Minister Ross also serves as an associate pastor at New Dimension Apostolic Center in Providence, Rhode Island. God has gifted Minister. Should I call you Minister Pam or Minister Ross? Does it matter? What's your preference?
Pam.
Okay, Pam. She's like, well, I just want to say that Pam is a very gifted woman, and she not only ministers in word, but she also ministers in song, and we hope to hear her beautiful voice tonight because she is a songstress. And when she ministers, it brings healing to the body, mind, and soul and spirit. And that's important because God wants us to be whole and complete in Him. He wants everything to line up according to His good and perfect will. Pam, we're just so grateful you're willing to come and share your journey of faith, hope, and love with us. And I'm persuaded that many will hear, even if they're not on the platform tonight, they'll hear this recording afterwards. And your testimony will do something special in their lives. What I'd like to do is ask you to read one of your poems, to open up, with one of your poems.
Okay. This poem is called I Feel Sorry for You. I feel sorry for you if you can't see the valuable person that I can be. I feel sorry for you if you look at my skin and you can't see the person I am within. It's your loss if you toss me aside and not try to know me because of your pride. But I won't let you stop me or break my stride. I'll be successful because I'm strong inside. See, it doesn't matter what you think. I know who I am. Someday you'll see. Your fear holds you back from being my friend. I feel sorry because you'll glue me in.
Hey, that's beautiful. I want to say you keep cutting off a little bit on your end. I'm listening as you were speaking. Some of the words were getting cut off. So I'm wondering, do you have your headphones with you just in case, just to try and see? It's trial and error sometimes. And I think you are using your phone, so that could also.
Yeah. And on my end, I'm getting an echo also. So I don't know.
So maybe the headphones will help a little.
Okay.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your patience, everyone.
I'm gonna try. And the sun's going down, the lights changing, everything's going right now.
Oh, they can actually, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think that might be better. At least we don't want to get cut off, because what you have to say is really important and we don't want to miss it. Okay. So, you can turn the lights on if you like. Yeah, it is going down, believe it or not. He can turn the other light on if he wants to as well.
We have to I think we're going to have to shut the shade because.
Okay.
Yeah, the sun is coming.
Okay. So I wanted to know what made you write that particular poem. What was your inspiration behind it?
My inspiration for this poem was my son was working for the school department as a teacher assistant, and they were having a Black History program. And he worked at George J. West Elementary School. And he asked me if I would read one of my poems. And as I kept looking through the poems, I said, I don't have anything appropriate for elementary school children. And so a few days before the program, I was going to call him, and it was him, and it was Kobe Dennis was working at the time also, who was doing the Black History program. So I was going to call him and say I was not able to do it because I don't have anything for the children. And that day, I just heard some words start coming, so I grabbed my pen and I started writing. This whole poem just came to me, and I was saying, well, I hope that the children really understand it. So we were doing the program. I was reading the poem, and they were sitting Indian style in the it's kind of like a gymnasium cafeteria combination room. And when I finished reading, they all got up and started cheering. So I was so touched and so blessed because I realized that they did understand it, and it just blessed me a lot. So this is a poem that I'm going to dedicate to them as I write a book, hopefully with this poem. don't know if I can tell you the whole story, but just recently I was waking up, like I was sort of like in that twilight way of dreaming, and I saw this poem, and I saw it in a book form, and I saw the outside of the book, and I said, "Oh my goodness! I never thought of this poem by itself as a book." I wanted to take all my poems and put them in a compilation, of poems and make that a book. But this one book, it I saw it as a children's book, so I'm working on it now. Get to that point of making this into a children's book.
Wow. That's awesome. That's wonderful news. Finally, I've been waiting to see this book. I just knew something would happen because your poems, as you said, everybody stood up and clapped. They seem to have that impact wherever you're at, and you're reading. Yeah, I've seen it in the churches as well. So I'm happy to know that these books are. Could you turn your phone down a little bit, just a tad? The volume. Thank you, Judy.
Okay.
All right, maybe that's it because we're trying to, yeah, because you were getting cut off still. So maybe, yeah, it seems like it sounds good and then it starts getting choppy again. Just getting a little feedback. Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback on that, Judy. Hello, by the way. So we'll just continue to talk and work it out. We'll work out the issues, the technical issues as we talk. So first, can you just tell me some important things about your upbringing, if you'd like to share?
Well, I've been living in Providence all my life. I used to, when I was a little girl, younger girl, I lived on the West End, but then we moved to Roger Williams Project on the South Side, and then I spent all the rest of my childhood living on the South Side and most of my adult life. I live in Cranston, Rhode Island now, but I lived in South Providence for a long, long time. And as far as my upbringing, I was brought up in a two-family house. I had very good upbringing. I loving home. Uh, my dad, he kind of was a yeller. I used to get a little upset because he was a yeller, but for the most part, the upbringing was good. There were issues, but I think every family has issues, and
Exactly.
and some of those issues, of course, cause emotional damage, but it's probably because of the way that we receive things.
Yeah.
I, you know, I learned how to understand people better because of what I've been through in my life. So I don't have a lot to say about my childhood. It wasn't a
Hmm.
bad childhood. It wasn't the greatest childhood in the world. It was just a childhood, a normal childhood that, and my dad shared with me some of the things he went through in his childhood that made it tough for him. His father was a yeller. He was a yeller. So it's like,
Yeah.
over the course of your lifetime, you pick up things.
Mm.
Just
Mm.
how childhood is, I guess.
Did you do a lot of writing during your childhood? And do you also feel that that impacts you in your writing today, just your own experiences?
Yes,
Or,
I from the time I was young, I loved to write, and I was always the one in my class that, like, I remember we had to write a letter to the mayor or something. I can't even remember what it was, but my letter was chosen to send to the mayor, and so different little things. I was always writing and reading, and I like to do a lot of acting, acting parts out in books and stuff. I've always loved to write, always.
hmm. Oh, that's beautiful. And you're a beautiful writer, too. I also want to acknowledge that you were you were president of the Women's Aglow chapter in Providence. Am I correct? Which the Women's Aglow is an international Christian women's organization, and you were involved with that. And you also were involved with the prison ministry. You were involved with the prisons at some level. Was that through Aglow, or could you just speak on that?
Well, I went into the prisons through Providence Assembly of God Church,
Okay.
but it kind of was through Aglow because I started going with Sister Mary Arujo, who was the president of Women's Aglow before me, and then she stepped down, and it was funny on the selection committee.
You cut out a little bit on us. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry about that. I hope I'm not cutting out either. Can you hear me? You can hear me okay? All right. Okay.
Yeah, so Sister Mary stepped down, and she, after many years, and then I was on the selection committee, and my name came up as to be selected for vice president, so I had to step off the selection committee, and then I ended up being the vice president. And then the president who I was under, which was Marlene Guy at the time, she stepped down, and I ended up being the president. I said, I don't even know how all this happened so quickly. It was like, what in the world is going on? I was not ready. I didn't think I was ready, but I guess God knew that He was going to train me as I went along. So that's how I became president, and that's also how I came into the prison ministry, because I came with some of the ladies from Women's Aglow that were going to the prison. And so I joined them, and I love that ministry so much.
Yeah, you had a lot of impact on that ministry. So you were with Aglow and the prison ministry at the same time. You were doing dual duties, as they might say, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I just also want to acknowledge your husband. I know he's there, and he's sort of making sure that everything's okay. And the lighting is beautiful. It's perfect. So I just want to acknowledge, I call him Brother Victor, Victor Ross. Minister Ross. You're both pastors. They're both ordained pastors. So, and they minister together, and just want to acknowledge, yes, because I'm trying to think of the saying, when you're, she's the what to my what. You might know that, Pam, that saying, when you're married, and the backbone. She's looking at me all baffled. What does she mean?
I don't know what you're trying to
say. I can't get the phrase out, so probably I should have just kept my mouth shut. But we just want to acknowledge you, Brother Victor, and thank you for all that you do for the community and for the service, and for your wife, because we get to have access to her because of you helping her along the way. So thank you so much. Just wanted to, is there anything you want to say?
Oh, I'm pretty good with it.
Okay. And I might say that you have, you're part of the men's ministries, and am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure I say that correctly, and just as an integral part of the church as well as your wife. So,
Absolutely.
Yes. So thank you so much. I wanted to, Pam, I wanted you to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because you're looking, is something going on?
No, I was asking him, did I have the right thing plugged in?
You got the right thing.
You know what? Yeah, when I put myself on mute, I think we could hear you better. So I'm going to mute when you're talking mostly, okay? To see if that's the issue. Because it could be feedback. I don't know how these channels work. But just want to say that you are a songstress. You have such a beautiful voice, and you're often asked to sing at different events. And I'm just wondering if you'd be willing to just sing something a cappella for us now. You
Yeah.
graced us. Thank you.
And this song, I hadn't thought about this song for years. There was a time when I would go, they called me the gospel singer. I went into Talbot House and I used to sing some songs, and I would do my testimony in between and just talk, So my daughter started going with me. She was younger, Victoria, and she loved, this was her favorite song. She always wanted me to sing this song. And so she reminded me, I went to visit her in Atlanta just this past couple of weeks, and she reminded me of this song. And so that's the song I'm going to try to sing a little bit of. I don't know who the person is that wrote this song, but I'm going to try to sing. I heard it on the radio once, and that's where I learned it. Lord, I hear you knocking, knocking at my door. How long have you been waiting? Seems I never really heard you before. I've kinda let the place go. I'm ashamed of what you find. But you can make yourself at home if you're sure that you don't mind. 'Cause when I cry, the roof leaks. When the wind blows, the walls are weak. But a house is known by the company it keeps. And I feel better now that you're near. And I want to make it clear, Jesus, from now on, you're always welcome here. There are dark rooms deep inside me where light has never shone, and I've tried to hide inside them, but I guess you've always known that one day you would call me and I'd awaken from my sleep. You take me just the way I am and promise me you keep me. 'Cause when I cry, the roof leaks. When the wind blows, the walls are weak. But a house is known by the company it keeps. And I feel better now that you're near. And I want to make it clear, Jesus, from now on, you're always welcome here. Amen. You're
Amen.
mute.
I had my mic off. Oh, that was so beautiful. And I was just listening to the words. Beautiful, beautiful. I've never heard that. So you just heard it on the radio, and
Yes, WARV radio I think it was WARV or WRIB or something they had
wow,
years ago.
sounds like one of those old time gospel songs that was sung from the heart, the matters of the heart. And what an appropriate song, Pam, because I want to segue into your journey and over the years, and some of the things you've encountered and how your faith has remained steady along the way. And the reason I say that is because I've witnessed it as well as many others. And it's amazing because some things you, saying myself, feel you can't get through. but for some way, when you're looking at someone else, they become a witness that God can pull you through anything, any situation, any circumstance. So if you could speak on it and just speak, I know you just had surgery. You seem to be doing so well. And there were many times I wanted to talk to you, but I knew it wasn't the right time. But, can you just talk a little bit about that and just talk about what has happened significant in your life
Yes,
to this point?
I've had several surgeries, and eventually ending up with having my leg amputated, my left leg amputated. I'm sorry, my right leg amputated. And it's funny because I can't drive or do anything right now, but I used to be a school bus driver, and I did a lot of driving, so it's kind of hard right now. But it started with just my legs swelling, and then it wouldn't stop swelling, and then I was having pains, and then they found out my arteries were narrow, and it was so many different things. And there was one point where I want to share this because I think it'll help someone, but I really was having so much pain, and I would like be screaming and saying, God, I mean, I don't understand why you're not helping me. You could just, all you have to do is reach down and touch me. What is going on? Why won't you help me? I'm praying, I'm asking you to help me. I don't know what to do. And there was a point where I just said, I can't do this anymore. And I really, for the first time in my life, said, I'm going to write a letter to my husband and my children and tell them that I love them and I don't want to hurt them, but I can't take this pain anymore. And I said, I'm going to take all my pain pills and I'm just going to die. But the thing is, like, being a Christian and for so many years, I didn't want to go to hell, because I said, if I commit suicide, I might go to hell, and I don't want to go to hell. So, when they asked me, the doctor asked me, and I said, I'm not, I felt, I told them that I felt like doing that. So, they got really upset about it, but I told them I'm not going to do it because I'm a Christian and I'm a minister and I don't want to go to hell. But, they were really concerned, but I made it through, and it helped me to understand people more and more, why sometimes people take their life, because if they don't have Jesus, they don't have any hope. And the thing is, I had Jesus to hold on to, and that was the most important thing. And so what I said to the doctor, finally, I said, I'd rather be alive on this earth and serving God with one leg than to die and go to hell with two legs. You know what I'm saying? So I said, go ahead and just take it off, because they basically let me know that I probably would always have pain, and a lot of pain, because that was nerve pain, and there was nothing that they could really do. They could do skin grafts, they could do a lot of things, but it probably would not take away the pain. And so this is why, we made the decision for me to go ahead and have my leg amputated. But God is really helping me through this, because it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It's very hard to, I was going to physical therapy, and then my other leg was acting up. So then I ended up having about 3 surgeries on the other leg, and then the pandemic happened, and it was, I couldn't really go to the physical therapy the way I needed to. It's been crazy. And I've kind of like come to peace in my life, and just realizing that whatever God is trying to do, I've got to let him do it. And evidently he's trying to teach me how to be empathetic to other people that are, and the things they're going through. So I'm learning empathy. And I've always kind of been an empathetic person, but not to this degree.
Powerful, very powerful. How long a period was that? Was that 1 year, 2 years that you actually went through the struggles with your?
It's been just a little over 3 years, I think. I remember the part that I really remember. It was it was a Valentine's Day, and we were having a dinner for married couples ministry, and I couldn't get my shoe on, so I had to. They have these stretchy shoes that you can buy that, like if you're going to a party or something, and you can carry these in your bag, and you can take them out and put them on. And I had to wear that shoe. I had to wear those shoes because I couldn't fit in any other shoes. And my big thing, I was a shoe person. My big thing was shoes. I love shoes, and so you know that's something that is not. I'm finding some cute little things, but they don't look little anymore. My feet are so big and swollen now that they look like big. They look cute in the book, but they don't look so cute on your feet. But it's a pride thing too. God, He's delivering me from pride, and there's so many things that He's doing that and He's bringing me back to the point where I might only can wear one shoe, but I can wear one cute one. So it's just a difference now.
Let's talk about that pain, because we live in a world, and we do see and experience a lot of pain. And we do know that there are pain management treatments for people physically, and as well as mentally. But what is your prescription for pain, for the whole being, in more of a holistic way, spiritual way? What would you say is, and the reason I'm asking you this is because of your ministry throughout the years, inner healing, body, mind, soul. What would you say to that fact, as in particular to what the world is going through today?
I don't like I said, I don't understand how anyone can make it in this world without the Lord. And prayer and fellowship are the things that really get us through. It's like there were people in my life that just they might have said a word of encouragement or comfort, but those words were things I could hold on to, and just giving myself completely to the Lord and just saying, Lord, you got to do it. There was one point when my pain was so bad, and I'll never forget this, because my husband looked at me really strange, but I just said, God, I said, I don't think you care, Lord. I don't think you care, because you could just do it. You could just touch me and you could just stop this. Why won't you stop the pain? And then when I said it, I got real quiet. And then I said, you know what, Pam, you got to calm down, and you really got to come to a place where you have to understand what God is trying to do, because I was so distraught. I was very distraught. And I thank God that after I had my leg amputated, a lot of the pain went away, and I don't have to. I was I was on oxycodone, and I was taking it like every 4 hours. Now, if I take it twice a day, that's a lot. Some days I don't have to take it at all. And I remember I actually called my doctor and said, listen, I want you to take me, I'm taking half of the medicine, half of the pills that you gave me. They had prescribed me 10 milligrams, and I broke it down to 5. And then she said she would give me a prescription for less. And so now, because I could feel that was making me high. And then I could see how people could end up getting addicted to that. So I didn't want to get addicted to it. So I said, I don't care how it makes me feel. I just wanted to take away the pain. I don't want to feel some kind of way. You know what I mean? So, but it could be really easy to get addicted to it because of the pain and the fact that you're distraught. So being distraught can make you just like want to be high all the time. Be honest with you. So you have to really fight it. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, I know. Yeah, it does. And I'm just thinking about with the pandemic, and just people giving up hope, giving up their lives, and not seeing a way out. And I think what you're saying is really important, that there is a way, and there is hope, regardless of how it seems and what you went through, the pain you experienced. And I think having something inside of you to believe in is really important, right? It's critical. And if we have nothing there, it's hard to keep on keeping on.
You have nothing else.
Yeah. So even if you feel that this gospel they talk about is not right for you, it doesn't hurt you to try, because you can only try it and see how it works for you. That's how, because it doesn't do anything to hurt you, it helps you. Yeah, so I think that's important. So how have you did speak a little bit how you've learned to cope with the insecurities, the pain, the obstacles, because you're a woman who is on the go, always doing something. You had to kind of slow your life down. Am I correct? And where did you find yourself at that point?
Well, I learned how to just, like, I had to, when I was leaving the hospital, this is before I had my leg amputated, and I had been in the hospital for a while, and I was ready to come home, and they said, well, you're not going to be able to go home now. We're going to send you to the nursing home. And I was in the nursing home rehab center for 6 weeks. So I had to it was hard, because like you said, I'm used to being on the go. I'm used to going to church. I'm used to going, whatever kind of social thing. I'm Miss Social Butterfly, just everywhere. And I couldn't do it. But I just learned how to calm myself down and say, well, Lord, I'm here where you have me at now. I wish that I could show you all some pictures of how my leg looked when I was in a nursing home. It looked like I had 3rd-degree burns. It was totally black. It didn't seem like it was ever going to get better, but it did get way better. It's just that the nerve pain didn't stop. So that in the end, even though they cured a lot of the sores and everything that were on there, it didn't. In the end, I end up losing it. But I learned how to be patient and just say, okay, God, I'm just waiting on you. However long I got to be here. And I just so thank God for my husband, because he was there every day until, they taught him how to use the coffee maker, and he would make coffee, and he was just, everybody knew him and they knew me. And, he was just, there from morning till night. He was a blessing. It has been a blessing to me through all of this.
I know I've talked with you about this before. I think it's important that people understand that it's okay if you need to get emotional help as well. When you're encountering something like that, something traumatic in your life, that maybe you should go seek out help. And talk it out, even just to talk it out, it makes a big difference.
Yes.
Would you agree? Yeah.
I agree 100%.
To have someone to talk with, and I think that's another missing piece, that we need to do more around mental health for people, because people also, you bring in a trauma where there's already traumas existing in your life. So it does help you. It may not be the be-all, end-all answer, but it's part of your healing and part of the journey. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And during the time of the pandemic, it was hard to find any help. I was actually reaching out, but everybody had a waiting list. And I was trying to figure out what's going on. And then someone said to me, it's the pandemic. Everybody's realizing that they need help. And it's like everybody had a waiting list. And it's so funny, because right now I am actually in counseling, and it was counseling that God sent to me before I got up one morning. Before I left my room, he sent some help to me, because the medical that I'm with, they started a new program, and the new program, they were offering counseling and coaching And so right now I have a counselor and a coach that I talk to every week, that just from my home, that I never had to, he sent it to my door. So that's the kind of things that make me say that we need God in our life, because he knows what we need and he provides for those needs.
Yes, I attest to it 100 that counseling really helps and helped me along the way. And I'm not afraid to talk about it or ashamed to talk about it. And I really encourage others to seek it out if it's available to you. So where do you see God taking you in this next chapter of your life? Where do you see your journey ahead, or do you? Because really, when I look at you, I'm like, wow, look at. I mean, I think for people that know you and to see the strength you have along the way, it's inspirational, and it lets me know that, oh yeah, I think I can do this. This little thing that's on my back bothering me, I can actually get through this. When they see other people like yourself going through and trusting God along the way.
Well, where I saw myself up until a few weeks ago was like, I'm going to just be a person that's going to encourage the young people to do what God wants to do, and to move on. And then God started opening some doors for me at 63 years old that I thought, were forgotten. I said, well, maybe I missed him. Maybe I didn't hear him when he said he was going to do this or that. And he's doing things so quickly, and he's really making a way for me where I couldn't see it happening at my age. And he told me a long time ago that your latter days will be greater than your former. And I sometimes we think God's forgotten, but he hasn't forgotten one single thing that he told us, and he hasn't forgotten one single thing we've asked him for. And so I'm just blessed, because right now I see a bright future ahead. And I don't just see myself as someone encouraging people and not doing things myself, but I see myself also moving ahead too.
Wow, wonderful. I keep muting, so that's why there's a delay when I come back on. But yeah, I needed to hear that. We see ourselves. Yeah. So I didn't want to. Is there anything that you might want to say to someone out there that you might want to offer those who mourn or are feeling afflicted inside, or maybe it's something physically afflicting them? People, those that are broken in spirit, would you have an encouraging word or a prayer that you'd like to offer folks?
Well, I just would like to say God has not forgotten you. And that's what we have to realize. He hasn't forgotten us. He has something for each of us to do. And as you said at the beginning of the program, we are all different, and we all have different ministries, and we have different gifts. We have people that only we'll be able to reach because that's the way God did it. And I just say be encouraged, because God is using you. Even sometimes when you think he's not using you, you just say a few words. I was sharing today with someone, and she said, "Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. I needed to hear that." And I said, "Wow, Lord, I was just sharing, what I thought was a little something, but it was a big something to her, because she needed to hear that right at the time that I shared it." So don't be discouraged. Be encouraged that God is using you, even when you don't know he's using you.
Amen to that. I love that. Can you just repeat that one more time? I like that. We got to get that in our inner being. What did you say about encourage?
I said be encouraged, because God is using you even when you don't know he's using you.
Thank you very much. I love that. That's a word to take home tonight and to take to bed and sleep on. Yes.
Amen.
So That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Pam. I don't want to tie up too much of your time, and I know people can only be around for so long. You know, our attention spans are short, and we have so much to do. So I appreciate every one of you who came out and joined in, and please feel free to share this video with others. And I hope also to reach out to you, maybe some of you in the chat, and have you come on and talk about your story, because I think everyone's story is really important. And if you would please like the video and share it and subscribe to this channel for upcoming events or conversations. So I wanted to, if we could close with a poem, Pam. I'd ask you to prepare a closing poem. And maybe you could say a little bit about the poem beforehand. And after that, we will just sign right off. And Pam, if you could just stay on, even though I sign off, I'd appreciate it, okay? Thank you, everyone, again for coming out. And please reach out and give me your suggestions, anything that you think we can do to enhance the platform and just to get the word out and to give people hope for tomorrow. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy this poem.
This poem is called Escaping Your Grip. And I read this poem at the prison. I had written it a while ago because one of the ladies said to me, how can you know about abuse when you have such a good husband and you've never been abused, so how do you know? So I couldn't explain to her how I knew, but I said to her, I just sometimes feel like, let me go, let me think how I would feel if this were happening to me. And so what I realized is empathy, and I didn't realize what the word was for it. And so I'm going to read the poem to you, and I'm going to tell you what she said afterwards. It says, your hands once made me feel safe and secure. Now your hands sometimes slam me into the door. Now your hands make me feel I'm here for your use, whether they grasp me in lust or physical abuse. That feeling of warmth and security is gone. At times, I wish I'd never been born. I'll do anything to please you, to have a good life. Why am I such a failure at being your wife? Nothing I do or say makes you glad. I strive to be pleasing, but it turns into bad. I'm dying inside as I dream of distant lands. I must put myself far from the reach of your hands. Your words were so loving, giving me confidence in myself. Now those good old words are stored in a box on the shelf. The physical bruises healed surprisingly soon. But how do you heal the emotional wound? You're stupid, pathetic, you're ugly, you whore. The words that you flung as you slammed out the door. The kids disrespect me because they've seen it in you. You've belittled me so long that you've shaded their view. Why do I stay here and take this abuse? I thought things would change, but I see there's no use. This isn't love, it's control, a cruel joke. I've slept much too long, but last night I awoke. Some say if I leave you, I'll be breaking my vow. But what is the difference? I'm living deaf now. There's help out there for me, and I must receive it. I can survive without you. I'm starting to believe it. Your words can't hurt me now. I know they're a lie. I'm weak and I'm trembling, but I'm leaving. Goodbye. And when I read it, the lady said to me, oh my God, you understand. And she just started crying. I'm sorry, and I'm feeling like I want to cry right now, but it just touched me because I'm just thankful to God for giving me a gift that helps me to reach people. And that's why I write poetry. And that's it.